Passage 3. Listen to part of a talk in a government class. A part of the Constitution.
Last class we were talking about the background of the Constitution, and I was telling you about the personalities and the problems discussed at the Constitutional Convention. Today, I want to begin talking about the Constitution itself. By this time, I hope you all know that the United States Constitution is the document which sets out the three branches of government, the powers of the respective branches, and explains other governmental rights, duties, and limitations. So, with that in mind, let's talk first about the preamble to the Constitution. The preamble is the introduction to the document itself. Turn in your text to Appendix A and read with me. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Now, the language is simple, but the meaning is deep and thought-provoking. We, the people of the United States, simply means everyone, not just the framers, writers, of the Constitution. The framers were agents or representatives. They represented all of the people to form a new government that they hoped would last a long time. And the preamble gives the reasons for ordaining and establishing the Constitution. Why are the framers saying to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and ensure domestic tranquility?
Well, when we were colonies under England's government, the Union wasn't really perfect. The English government put taxes into effect, and they closed the ports of the colonies so the people couldn't get products they needed. And then, under the Articles of Confederation, the states were powerful and could have their own armies, raise their own taxes, and charge people for coming into their state.
Why do you think they needed to say they wanted to establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility?
I don't think they probably needed to say they wanted to establish justice because we had justice. But then, maybe we didn't. The British had required people to house soldiers in their homes when it wasn't wartime. So maybe if justice means fairness, then maybe they did need to include those words. Yeah, maybe they did.
Anything else? What about ensuring domestic tranquility?
I think that means the framers wanted to make sure we have peace here at home. I am pretty sure tranquility means peace. And they wanted to make sure it was peaceful at all times. I remember from a history class that there were riots and disturbances when poor people wanted government help and better living situations. I am thinking about the farmers, I think in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania, who had crop failures and were losing their lands because of it. So the framers probably wanted to stop things like riots.
Your answers are good, and you are right about the things which happened in the past. Now, what do the words provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity mean?
I think providing for the common defense means that the framers knew we had just fought a long and costly war and that we needed to be prepared if ever we had to fight again. Also, I think they were thinking about making our new country safe from people who might want to fight us because they thought we were young and weak. Promoting the general welfare is a pretty broad term. It probably means the new government under the Constitution will provide for ways that everyone's rights and interests and well-being can be looked after, and that the government isn't just going to look after special interest groups. As to the last reason, securing the blessings of liberty, I am not sure, but I think it means that the Constitution will have language that can be flexible to meet the changing needs of society, and that through government actions, the framers wanted the people to remain free. I'm sorry, but I can't answer the last part of the question because I don't know the meaning of the word posterity.
Your answers are right on point also. Posterity means future generations. So when the framers were talking about liberty, they were meaning they wanted it for them and the people living at that time, but also wanted it for future generations. Now that we have talked about the introduction to the Constitution, I think you'll be better able to understand the body of the document. Next class, we will discuss the legislative branch, which is set out in Article 1 of the Constitution.
Now get ready to answer the questions. You may use your notes to help you answer.
Number 12. What is the talk mainly about? Number 13. Why does the professor mention the word framers? Number 14. What does the professor think about the term common defense used by framers? Number 15. According to the professor, what does posterity mean? Number 16. What does the professor say about the organization of the document?
Listen again to part of a student's response. Then answer the question.
I remember from a history class that there were riots and disturbances when poor people wanted government help and better living situations. I am thinking about the farmers. I think in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania who had crop failures and were losing their lands because of it.
Number 17. Why does the student say this?
I remember from a history class that there were riots and disturbances when poor people wanted government help and better living situations.